Hello, hello, and welcome back to another episode of the Anastasia podcast. Today we have everybody's favorite guest.
Guess who's back?
And we are going to be filming 2 episodes, and we thought about doing an outfit change. We're not going to do an outfit change for sake of just making this faster.
Don't make me sound like some kind of princess.
No, it's just for me, for how I do my episodes out. But you're generously giving me a good chunk of your afternoon before you have to go into work.
An hour and 15 minutes.
You guys know me and my talking. I got to make this fast. Today, we're going to talk about finding out the gender of baby number 2.
Do they know you're pregnant?
Yes, everybody. But my podcasts are
Just a couple episodes.
they're so backlogged that today, the episode that I was just kind of working through and making reels out of that I'm going to be dropping this week. I'm like, hey guys, I'm 15 weeks pregnant. I'm like, that was 5 weeks ago. I'm 20 weeks pregnant now. So we just had a really big anatomy scan. And the reason that I do want to talk about this is because I brought up in past podcasts why we decided not to find out the gender for this baby and how I was kind of teetering on the fence. And then
You've always been not on the fence. You've been on the I want to find out side. I've been on the not find out side. So together we were on the fence. And then something unexpected happened.
We also now have another guest. This wet boy, because he just is having the summer of his life swimming in the pool every single day.
You said pool and you got excited.
You swimming in the pool. You swim with dad and the baby. You want to go sit with dad? Go sit with daddy. Is he in your frame? So cute. All right. So last week we had our anatomy scan. And we were sent to like a ultrasound place in the city versus last time we were able to do it like a lot closer to home. And I wasn't necessarily sure why they sent us there, but I think it's because I'm 35. I just turned 35 last week.
We went there once last time because of your placenta placement. And that was slightly riskier. So that you went there and then you requested that we go there this time. So I think your doctor just signed us up for it.
Hopefully it's not that for the whole case. Yeah, when we went and did like the initial measuring, I asked to go to this place because they have like really high image, like ultrasounds that they do versus the office that we go to that's closer is a little grungy. So, you know.
They give you your images back on like a floppy disk.
They don't.
Quality, equivalent wise.
So anyways, we go to this appointment and your parents came over to babysit Magnolia. I was like already kind of dabbling back and forth for like the week prior. I'm like, do we find out? Do we not find out? And I'd really gotten to the point where it's like, I didn't mind waiting for you with the first one. And I think we needed to wait for the first one because there was so much mental preparation that occurred. But I was also like, okay, we'll just see what happens. I'm in no rush. I don't have to find out today.
I knew you were feeling like figuring it out. So I was like, you know what? I'm just not going to say anything until like we're on the way to the appointment. I'm just going to completely not bring it up. That way we don't have the conversation.
Maybe I'll forget.
No, not that you'd forget, but like I didn't want to put it in your mind so you even thought about it at all. And then on the way, I just wanted to be like, just remember, we're not figuring it out.
You literally said before we went to the appointment, like, what's your doctor's name again? Like the one that you go see about the baby. Where are we going for your ultrasound? I'm just going to call them and pretend that I'm Dr. Blah, so-and-so, and then tell them like, my patient really doesn't want to find out the gender, no matter what she says in person today.
She might say she wants to, but she actually doesn't.
So the girl starts, like, what they do is they take over 100 pictures and they're measuring.
Waited in the lobby for like 40 minutes.
Yeah, that was crazy. Have been very lucky. Every appointment we've ever had with Magnolia, other than when I was literally in labor, that was like punishment. How long it took them to admit us. But we are seeing like within a minute max, like 60 seconds is like a long time to be waiting in a waiting room. They finally take us, they start doing the pictures. I just don't even remember it being that complicated when we were doing Magnolia's 20-week ultrasound because they're making sure like the heart has 4
Chambers,
not valves. They're measuring kidneys. They're measuring literally everything. Brain. I'm like, what? Okay. I'm like, and that was another thing of, oh, there's so much more happening behind the scenes. Like, again, you think you're just growing a baby. You're growing all of your baby's organs. And I'm just like, oh, the most.
Yeah, you're killing it.
Anyways, then towards the end of the ultrasound, and we were talking to the tech the whole time, telling her that we
met her like in the hallway. She came up to us like, hey, how's it going? I'm like, hi, nice to meet you. We're not finding out the gender.
Yeah.
Don't mess this up.
So at the end, when she gets to the part where she has to take pictures of the gender part of the baby, she had us look away. She took all the pictures and she's like, okay. And then she went and just got some pictures of like the whole baby.
I also had to cover your eyes because you were still trying to like peek
Yeah, I
around.
would love to look and try to see if I could figure out what's going on, but like you don't know what you're looking at, you know? And then she literally, so originally the baby was like side to side, so it was very easy for her to get every single measurement. And then literally out of nowhere, immediately after she took pictures of the baby's gender, she says to us, "Oh my God, look, he flipped. Look at
He's
the
kicking
baby."
around.
And then she quickly is like, "The baby, the baby, the baby."
She had like an "oh shit" moment with like almost like an "oh shit" look on her face. And we both noticed it, but neither of us said anything to each other.
So we're like, okay. And then she's like, I have to go check in with the doctor and have them review all the pictures I took and see if I need to get doubles of anything, like hang tight. She leaves the room. I immediately turn to you and I'm like,
Did you just hear what she said?
and then Matt's like, no.
I don't know what you're talking about.
And we were like, all right, maybe she slipped up. Maybe she didn't. Like, and that was the catalyst.
That was enough to send you over the top.
Yeah,
Then
because
then she brings in a medical student and she opens the door. She's like, "Oh, this is so and so." And you're like, "Are you the person here to tell me there's something wrong with my baby?"
no, first of all, I had to wipe the jelly off my belly because I had to pee so badly. And right across the hall, the door was left open. There's a bathroom. And I'm like,
A bathroom that says staff use only.
whatever. I'm like, there's exceptions for pregnant women everywhere.
Mm.
So I'm like, I can't wait. I waited for like 5 minutes and she still didn't come back. I'm like, I'm going to pee in my pants, especially if she has to take another picture. She's going to press on the baby like, I didn't bring a change of pants, and I've peed my pants like 40 times this pregnancy already. So I go to the bathroom, and then I come out. The door doesn't have a stopper on it.
You swung that door open, smashed it into the drywall, almost put a hole in it.
And then I'm walking out, and I'm like grabbing the door. You're taking pictures
I
of
made the
me.
perfect picture because I zoomed in. I took a picture of the door that said staff only, then I zoomed way in on the staff only, and then I perfectly got a picture as you flung the door open.
And then the woman is walking down, and this is a young girl. She's like, I would give her
Mid-20s.
mid-20s. Yeah, I think like if she was 25, I would be surprised. I thought she was maybe like 23, 24.
Mm.
And she's walking with like a tall Asian woman. And I go, "Are you the doctor coming to tell me there's something wrong with the baby?" The chick goes, not the girl behind her, the original one who took the photo. She goes, "That's a medical student. She's just coming to observe." And I'm
She
like,
never said a word. She
yeah,
didn't even
she
acknowledge
didn't
that.
even acknowledge me saying that. Then the girl didn't even tell her any of the pictures that she took. She had to take a few more pictures. And then they just walked out. Never said any she or he, but, like, the damage was done at that point.
Well, no, what was the other part?
I don't know.
She said, "Well, you're gonna get results back on your charts." And we said, "Okay, well, we don't want our charts to have a gender on there." She said, "Well, I don't think we can do that." We said, We did the same thing last time and they didn't put a gender on." And she's like, I just don't think they can, but I'll ask." So when she went out to get the scan or have the scans checked, she talked to the doctor. She comes back. She goes, "I can't do anything about it. They said they have to for medical legal reasons. They have to put the gender on there, but you can just not look at it."
That was the other thing. That is true. They said from here on out, the gender of the baby is gonna be on every single thing that's sent to you in your portal. And your portal, like, everything medical has turned to the digital world. You pre-check into appointments, you make appointments, you cancel appointments, you talk to your doctor. You can't not be in your portal. That's just how it works. It's actually extremely helpful when you have pregnancy brain and mom brain, because even that ultrasound, I physically wrote it in our family calendar for the wrong time. And it was like the third reminder they texted me. I like looked at the time and I was like, wait, why does that time look different than what I've been telling myself in my brain? Then when I looked on the calendar, I wrote the wrong time. So it's so helpful. But then they're like, you have new results. You have new results. You have new results. So, anyways, I think it's because I'm 35 now. I'm in the advanced maternal age for
Formerly
pregnancies,
geriatric.
formerly geriatric, no longer that term because I don't know if people find it offensive. I don't really care. I don't feel like geriatric. I understand why now after I dove into fertility and stuff like that. totally understand why medically they would
Mm.
call it that.
Your body feels geriatric lately.
Yeah, literally, having kids in your 30s is totally different. You're exhausted. I had to get up off the floor the other day with Magnolia, and I was like, "What is going on here?" Yeah, well, I have the pressure of a baby and stuff too, growing in my belly. But anyways, whatever. We get our ultrasound pics. We take the elevator down to the lobby. We're walking out, and I say to Matt, "You know, if it is a boy, then we could take our time before jumping into having a third because we would have one of each." And up until this point, you and I spent January, February, March, and April. Magnolia is at such a fun age that we would constantly look at each other and be like, it would be so fun if she had a sister. Like, it would be so fun if she had a sister because she's just so sweet and she's so adventurous and she's so like fun loving and spirited that it's like, how fun would that be if she got a buddy, if she got a little bestie?
But at the same time, I'm having a blast doing, like, boy things with her, like, taking her out on the Suron, and she loves my tractor, and I'm like, "Am I corrupting this girl to become, like, a farm girl or a, like, redneck?" So,
But
a
we
boy
have
could help.
huh?
A boy could help that.
Yes. And you know what? Like, again, we've said this in so many other podcasts. I think when you dive into the world of having kids, it's something you can't put into words, especially when you marry like a man's man, like a guy who's just tough and gets after it and gets it done. There's something so sweet about seeing our daughter pull out this sweet side of you. And it gives you a moment to pause in your like very go, go, go busy life. And you notice the sweetness and you're present for it. And it's just so endearing. But
But
at
I'm
the
not
same time,
soft.
you're not soft at all, but you have a soft spot for her, and
Yeah.
that's so sweet for, like, the mom to see because those are the reasons, that's the place you hold for me in that way that is not you. You're not overly sensitive, you're not like, you're a man. I, in the same way, would love to see you with a little version of you, I would love to give you that, unfortunately, I can't pick, but those are like, I think a mom and a dad, like, it's just having at least one of each, it's always like the dream because then you get to see a mini mom and then you get to see a mini dad.
Mhm.
You start to have kids and then you truly are just grateful for
You can
healthy
look at
babies.
anything and just see the bright side, like, this could be the good thing about that, but, this could be the good thing about that.
Mhm.
In the end, it's all good things.
Yeah, it
Looking
truly
for a healthy baby.
truly is. And part of me wanting to find out the gender was a really big thing is like the podcast room. I was like, okay, by the end of the year, like we're gonna have to buy a barn, like a bigger barn, like a not a she shed, like, something
Like a he shed.
stately, and we're gonna have to run, air conditioning to it and electricity, and that's gonna have to be my podcast studio because, baby in one room, Magnolia in another room. We have a three-bedroom house. We're not moving right now, and I was just kind of thinking about the pressure of that, and when I was talking to you the week prior, I was saying or, like, a couple weeks prior, I'm like, I think, okay, if I just wait till we have the baby, like, then I'll just figure all that stuff out. Then I forgot, like, you have 0 brain cells for the first 3 months after you have a baby because you're in the newborn trenches, you're completely sleep deprived. I'm like, I don't wanna have to make decisions or, like, think about, like, "Okay, what's my game plan, etcetera." So it was all things that I was considering because I'm like, if we do find out the gender and it is a girl, then Magnolia can just share a room with her sister, and then we'll keep the baby in our room for maybe a little longer than the 6 months, how we kept Magnolia in our room, and then when the girls can move in here because it's a bigger room and you're gonna build a custom bunk bed and we're gonna make the room work for them, and then we got excited, we're like, if the girls share a room, their toys can be in their room instead of in the living room, and then we can have, like, our living room back and, like, all these things, but then if it's a boy, it's like, okay, they're gonna have separate rooms, then I really have to think about what a podcast studio is gonna have to be external outside of the home, etcetera. It's all these things, every parent listening, it's all stuff that you think about. I was kind of thinking like maybe a girl and a boy could share a room, but
Absolutely. At least for a few years.
yeah, in the beginning, and I did see a thing about this mom who their 2 littles, it's a girl and a boy, share a room, and she's like, "Here's what like, after a year of doing it, like, here's some things I've learned." She's like, "They've learned how to be sounder sleepers. They sleep through each other's little noises, like, their bond has just grown." And I know as kids get older, they need their own space, they need their own privacy, etcetera.
Shared a room till I was like 16.
Yeah, I shared a room with my sister, and looking back, like, I never, while sharing a room with her, thought like, "Oh, I wish I had my own room." When she
No,
went
I
off to
wouldn't say
college, I
that.
thought wait, I think even before she went off to college, I had my own room because then the boys shared rooms. It all works out. I never felt like I was missing something by not having my own room in my childhood. I
Mm.
actually loved sharing a room with my sister, and I remember we had a bunk bed, and whenever I was, like, mad at her, I would, like, kick my feet up, and I would, like, throw her mattress up, and she'd freak out. Then my parents would storm in. Do you ever do that to your brother?
Oh, yeah, we had, like, fights
Girls.
we had fights where we'd separate the room in half and then, like
With tape?
no, no, with, like, pillows or whatever.
Mhm, stay on your side?
Not even that, like, we're just, like, fighting with action figures or, like,
Oh,
whatever,
cute.
or, like,
Yeah.
playing war or
Anyways, so then we get home and your parents are still hanging outside with Magnolia and they're like so excited to look at the ultrasounds and your mom keeps being like, "Oh, look at her," because they got a shot of like the baby's lips and nose. They're like, "Look at her lips. She looks like Magnolia." And I was like, "Miss Sue, don't call her a she." And then,
just because.
yeah, because at that point I'm like being pregnant with Magnolia and thinking it was a boy, truly based on all the wives' tales and everything.
No.
There was a part of me that felt bad that I called her buddy for 9 months in my belly, and I kind of like, I don't know, I should have just called her baby, like, "The baby, the baby." I don't know how long it was, like, after the ultrasound, but by the time the evening had come, I had already gotten 2 texts from the Care New England being like, "Your test results are in. Your test results are in," and I'm like, "I wanna know."
And you kept looking at me, I'm like, "We don't need to know, it's fine."
And I wanted to know. And a part of me was like, "All right, you were off that night." I'm like, "It will be so special. We can just open the results, look at it together, and then we can spend the night conversing about it." And we kind of talked back and forth, and you kind of gave me your reasons on why you didn't want to find out. Like, you're just because we've talked about this at length, this whole pregnancy, and you're like, "I just want to wait. Like, I enjoyed waiting. I think it's cool that we wait." Like, and then I realized I was waiting for you. And like in this moment, I needed to just find out because I wanted to.
Yeah, and ladies rule, so
As you guys can see, he's still sad about it.
no, I'm not sad about it. I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
But
Well,
it was kinda like that girl ruined it, and we already knew at that point it was a boy, so it was kinda like, "Alright, let the excitement start now."
mhm.
But I was like, "You really wanna see? Let's just see it."
We held hands, we said a prayer, we, like, thanked God for a healthy ultrasound, for a healthy baby, and we're like, "Just please bless the rest of this pregnancy, like, guide us into this moment. We trust you that you're giving our family exactly what we know we need or we need." And here we go. So we open the results, and we're scrolling.
You start scrolling slower than ever,
Well, 'cause
and I'm like, "It's gonna be at the end," because that was the last part of the ultrasound. So you scroll, and you scroll, and you scroll.
and then I go, "Baby number 2 is a,"
Girl.
and I literally look at you, and your mouth drops, and I had to go back and reread, and at the way bottom of the report, it says sex, female,
And you double check that.
and we were both dumbfounded,
Yep.
and then it started. It took us, like, an hour to get our
The
heads
pressure hit immediately, though.
because there was so much to process. First of all, why did the girl say boy?
No, first of all, from the very beginning, this pregnancy was completely different than Magnolia's. You were sick in the beginning, you had all these things going on that, again, all the wives' tales would tell you, "Well, this time it's gonna be a boy," and everybody would be like, "Yeah, you're getting a boy this time because
All the wives'
everything is so
tales,
different."
all the doctors, every phlebotomist, every person I have come into contact with this pregnancy in the medical field, because I was so sick, I was reaching out to doctors so much, I was being seen. All of them were like, "What was your first pregnancy like?" I'm like, "I had no symptoms." They're like, "You're having the opposite gender." This is exactly what my story was like. And then I'm like, who knows? And I'm telling you, none of these wives' tales regarding gender are accurate because every pregnancy is so different. it's such a free for all. What's going on in your body, the state of stress you and your husband are in, the state of not stress you guys are in, your minerals, your vitamins, whatever it is that dictates being as sick as you are or not sick during your pregnancy. I don't know the math or the science behind it, but it does not dictate whether or not you're having a girl or a boy.
Yeah, they're lies.
It was crazy because then going back to the whole beginning of the year, our headspace was like, well, if she got a sister, that would be so great. And, we've talked about having 3 kids. And then this pregnancy was so difficult that we're like, okay, we're really going to have to assess after we have this baby and then see how our family acclimates to being a family of 2 under 2. And then we'll like move forward. If this baby was a boy, I would actually be sad for if our 3rd baby by chance, because again, it's 50-50, was a girl, the age gap Magnolia and her sister would have would be so big that, like, I would be sad for that because your number one reason for wanting to have a baby sooner was you and your brother are 3.5 years apart, almost 4, and you've always said, "I kinda wish we had a closer age range," because you feel like you guys would have been closer. And me and my sister are 2 years apart, like a few days less. Like we're like 1 week under 2 years apart. And I know growing up, we were each other's friends. And like we got to be in high school together. We got to be through similar seasons of life. And I'm telling you, when you are in the newborn trenches, when you are trying to screw your head back on straight in year 1 of becoming a first time parent, and you're like, what the hell is going on? You do not think about birth order and how close in age you want your kids to be. You are trying to get a grip on the world around you and like reclaim some type of normalcy and stability. Now, on the other side of this, what did I say to you like later in the night? I was like, all right, maybe 6 months postpartum, we could try again.
Yeah, well, the whole thing was she said all the boy thing, and then we spent the whole car ride, like and all the time in the afternoon, subconsciously in our head, like, preparing ourselves for, "Okay, it's gonna be a boy, so this, and this."
I think
Then
you slowly start planning. Yeah. Subconsciously, you don't even mean to.
yeah, then we read female, and instantly, I just went, "Oh, shit." Like, now that means I'm definitely gonna be a dad of 3 because 'cause we're gonna try again. And then, now I'm thinking about paying for 2 weddings. I'm thinking about paying for college for 3 kids now instead of just 2.
I
Thinking
will
about this total span that now we're gonna be, like, parents of young kids because now we're gonna have to have another one. It's just a lot hit me all at once.
I will say you are the best dad. You love Magnolia. You turned white. You stepped. You took a step to like catch your breath and you're like, there's gonna be so much makeup in this house. Who am I gonna pass the business down to? Like,
There's gonna be tampons everywhere.
and then you said, I just need a minute because not only did I just find out we're having a girl, I also am now processing I will have to be a dad of 3. And then, we very quickly came around. And I really feel like the only reason there was this like hesitation or this bump in our thoughts, like catching up to like where our hearts are, is because the girl dropped a different gender by accidentally, which I don't know if it was a genuine accident
Or she
or
was trying to throw us off the scent.
I don't know if in her 20-something-year-old mind, she's like, I'm just going to say the opposite gender and really throw them off, which if that is it, I think it's so inappropriate and not her place at all. And I've heard from other people who don't find out the gender, them saying the texts have like slipped the gender, etc. And how do you, as the mom who doesn't know, not go back to that thought? And I said to you, I'm like, Matthew, if we didn't look, and I just spent the next 4 to 5 months replaying in my mind her saying, "Look at him flip over. Look at him kick."
Yeah.
And then the day we have the baby, it's a girl. I would have been so pissed that like because someone already did that for us.
'Cause you were coming.
Yeah, and you had said like, "I don't want you to be mad at this girl." Like, and I was like, "I'm not going to be mad at this girl." Like because it kind of already happened, so it was what it was. But then I got mad after because it was a opposite gender, and I was like, "No, that was intentional because you had just looked at the baby's gender, taking the photos, so you actively thought." I don't think it was like a Freudian slip, like, I don't think it was by accident. What are your thoughts?
I'd like to believe that she did it on accident, but who knows? Have to have her on the podcast and ask her.
No.
You should
Yeah, I'm
you should
not
fucking
mad at her, I just feel like that moment was robbed from us, and now even with the next kid, I don't know if I'd wanna wait to find out the gender anymore, knowing that the gender of the baby is gonna have to be on every single lab I get, report, etcetera. It's like, it is what it is, and we'll always have the memory of Magnolia, but, like, whatever. At this age and stage, I'm just trying to plan our life.
Just looking for a healthy baby.
Yeah, so baby number 2 is a girl,
It's a girl.
and Matt's gonna be the best girl dad. If anybody's going through a rough time, this is what I say to, like I said it to my guy cousins, to my brother. I'm like, "If you're ever out having a beer, can you just pour one out for Matt?" I'm like,
Yeah.
"He's going through it right
Sitting at
now."
home, my tiara on.
You know what? There's just too much testosterone in the house between you and your manliness and, like, our dog that
That's not true.
I also did say, I'm like, "The gift in this is we trust God is giving our family exactly what he knows we need. We will get to enjoy the rest of our lives seeing exactly why God gave us 2 girls first." And I think so much of that is gonna get to be seeing such a beautiful bond between them, because now already in my head, I can't stop kind of having these, like, I'll envision Magnolia holding her little sister's hand, like, whenever the next baby learns to walk and, like, guiding her somewhere, wanting to play with her. She's already such a great caretaker or nurturer, and she loves, like,
Taking care of her dollies and
oh
food.
my god, it's gonna be so fun, and she gets to have someone so close in age. But then I was like, "Wow, alright, now we're gonna have to start praying that the next round, we just have twins, and it's 2 boys, so they can be best friends, because I don't want one of them to not have a buddy."
If you guys see one of these in the future and we're announcing that it's girl number 3, then come check on me. I'll probably be at Butler Hospital.
Oh, you're gonna be okay. Well, the first thing Matt said when they put Magnolia in his arms right after I had her, he's like having a moment holding his beautiful baby girl, and then he goes, "If we have 3 girls, we're not having a 4th, like, we're done." And I was like, "Okay." Because that is a lot, like, that's a lot. 3 kids is a lot? And I know some men, who have 3 daughters, and they're like, "I wouldn't have changed it for the world. I got my sons when I got my son-in-laws," and it's there's just something beautiful about trusting. It's like the time in your life that you get to co-create with God, and who knows better than God what you and your family need. But again, from the human side of it, I think husbands and wives, what you'll always wish and wonder is, like, what a little girl version of the both of you would look like and what a little boy version of you guys would look like. Because that way each parent gets one, like your little mini
Well, they
version.
call that the millionaire family or whatever, right?
I don't know. I haven't heard
They
that
have a
before.
boy and a girl.
Yeah.
2 kids, done.
You know, I think that's kind of partly why God is giving us a girl second, because I think I'm a little weak mentally when it
You were,
comes.
"We have a boy, maybe we only have 2," and I'm on the pushing you for more side, so this is probably done on purpose just so that you didn't have a choice.
Because who knows, my pause after baby number 2, if it was a boy, maybe it would have been, like, a little long, and then we would have settled into, like, comfort and routine with our family, and, God knows the way. Who knows? Maybe we still only will have 2 kids.
No.
That's why he says maybe 2 girls will rock his world so hard. You know
Listen, I already have you. You're like the equivalent of 3 girls in the house, so
Wait, I can't believe I almost forgot to say this. When we were still getting our heads on straight, we're outside, you're sitting on one of the outdoor couches, I'm sitting on another, and Magnolia is, like, just grunting because she's working so hard with her water table and filling the dog's water bowl and her dinosaurs and all this stuff, and you just look at her, and you look at me, and you go, "I'm just already so tired with her. How am I gonna do it again?" And I just looked at you, and I'm like, "Honey, I know."
yeah.
Like, we both crawl to bed at the end of the day because of our daughter. She's a thrill seeker. She's an adrenaline junkie like you. She has to be everywhere. She's anything we're cooking, anything,
More,
anything
more.
happening in the house, she has to be involved. You were working in the basement yesterday and there was like a mini screwdriver. You're like, should I save this for her? And I'm like, we're gonna have to get her like a real tool set when it's her time, because she's gonna be pissed if it doesn't actually do something real. She
Yep.
can't have fake ones. But it's true. But you know what? God gives you strength. We will figure it out.
And for the rest, they make rain.
We'll get through it. But like now I really want your mom to live in our backyard. Your dad can live in your
Your
parents'
dad,
house.
mom?
Yeah, your mom would do it too. And I always say I would respect your guys' time. I would not abuse you with babysitting.
Yeah,
But
nothing, no more than 7 days a week. Easy. Only in the days that end in Y.
exactly. So thank you guys so much for tuning in for our big news. And please like, share, and subscribe.
Pray for me.
Pray for Matt, and we'll catch you guys next time. Bye.